The conference championship bomb edition of the Bottom Line Bombs on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Also brought to you by Cut. K-U-T-T is a peer-to-peer social betting platform at U.S.-based, available in 40 states. Head to cut.com. That's K-U-T-T.com. Promo code SGPN for 10% deposit bonus. Also brought to you by the SGPN merch store. 50% off everything you use when you use playoffs for a promo code thing situation. And now that was executed perfectly, let's go to this theme song. Okay, we are here, bombing for the Bottom Line Bombs. Welcome to the show. I am your host, CJ Sullivan, the bet detective, the laddie daddy, and of course, man in the box. Yes, welcome. I hope that theme song played. I couldn't hear that through my headphones, but last time I did that, I doubled up, and then it didn't. Then I realized later that I didn't have to. That it was playing, just wasn't playing through my headphones. So let me see. The board is playing. All right, that just came through. Skype's playing. I don't know what the hell is going on. I think we're good. You guys heard the theme song, right? Live listeners who are talking to me, including Juke72 says LFG. Let's go. C Generics. We are here for the NFC AFC Championship game. We got a good show. I'll do both conference championship games, of course. Bombs for both of them. Bombs over both of them. And then, all right, thumbs up on that one. Perfect. And a lot of props. They give a lot of special props. We hit a bunch of them last week. See if we can get double up and get the first live show, Japan. All right. Come on in. You get a bomb for that one, baby. You get a bomb. Ronnie Pastor tells me it's working. Thank you. All right, just want to make sure. Yeah, just make sure that theme song thing came through. Now I don't care. I'll move past this. We're gonna move past a lot of it. Yeah, well, this is gonna be a good show. I'm like I said, we both games. Talk about the coaches up top right real quick with the Harbaugh news and the Doc Rivers news. That's funny. And of course, a man in the box. Got a nice a man in the box segment coming up about urgent care. As you know, I've been a little under the weather. Had a bug that I thought was gone. Went to Vegas. Apparently, doctors do not recommend a weekend in Las Vegas to help cure an illness. It does the opposite effect, apparently. And that's what happened to me. But we got some stuff taken care of yesterday. We're going to get through this. No problem. No problem, because the lights are on. I'm like Iverson. Just give me the ball. I don't care what the injury is. Of course, his injuries were usually, self-inflicted from being a warrior on the court. Mine were self-inflicted just from lifestyle. But either way, we play through injuries here at the Bottom Line Bombs and at SGPN. Big news yesterday before we get to the games. Jim Harbaugh coming to Los Angeles. The Chargers get Jim Harbaugh as the head coach. That was inevitable. It seemed like perfect time to leave. Get your championship in Michigan and get the hell out of there before they give you sanctions up the ass, Pete Carroll style. So leave things the way you found it and burn it to the ground. Sorry, folks. Yeah, we don't do bullshit sanctions for videotape. Well, I guess we do for New England, but cheating's a way of life. We can all cheat under the same budget in the NFL. I think he's going to fit in perfectly in Los Angeles. Not because he's like the celebrity Hollywood star. I mean, he is a star, obviously. He's Jim Harbaugh. But he's an asshole first and foremost. Don't forget about these Harbaughs. They're all assholes. I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's what they are. It's personality traits. Jim Harbaugh treats every single person he ever comes across with complete disdain. Sideline reporters, and in any announcer, anybody. He just is completely dismissive towards them. And he says his bullshit, and people let him get away with it because he's Jim Harbaugh. That's going to fit in perfectly in Los Angeles. He sees right through you. His glasses are getting bigger. Those Coke bottle glasses are getting bigger to make his eyes go right through you. They might have to turn off some of that Midwest, but he knows how to turn off the Midwest. See, that's the thing too. They're all frauds. That whole who's got it better than us? Nobody. The whole even that seems fake and a ripoff. They'll change that. That's not gonna fly now. But the khaki pants. I welcome another slack wearing miserable asshole to Los Angeles. There's not enough of us out here. Too many people are fake smiling, fake. These people. That's one thing about jerks in LA. They'll smile on your face, but they'll read through it, and they tell you they don't hide it really. The Midwestern jerks. They're jerks in Midwest too. Don't let them fool you. Everyone's like, oh, they're so nice in the Midwest. Yeah, they're nice in the Midwest, but they're nice to your face. They're very passive aggressive. People call Minnesota nice, all the shit. It's very behind your back, passive aggressive. LA, they're not like that at all. They let you know right up front, what can you do for me? Nothing? Oh, then goodbye. I will talk to someone else who can do something for me. Because that's all that matters to me is what are you worth to me? So Harbaugh will be great. Hopefully Justin Herbert will finally have a fucking year that he's supposed to have. I draft him every year in fantasy because I love Justin Herbert. I think he's amazing. And he does nothing. He does absolutely nothing he doesn't do nothing, but he doesn't do what he should be doing because of the idiot coaches he's had. But now we'll see. Jim Harbaugh does win. This is how much you can tell of an asshole Harbaugh is. He wins everywhere he goes. And he's always run out of town within 4 to 5 years. He doesn't last long. And it's not that he gets bored and wants to move on. He gets fucking ran out because they just can't tolerate him in the building. Stanford, San Diego State, Niners. He almost haven't won the Super Bowl with Colin Kaepernick, for crying out loud. This has nothing to do with Colin Kaepernick, the polarizing figure. Colin Kaepernick, the football player. Not that great. He had a great year when he first came in. He sparked it, because Jim Harbaugh's off. It was amazing. And then he kind of drifted off. He was like more of a backup. I don't want to give Kaepernick any strays. He could still be a fine quarterback in the NFL today. If he would shape up, if he would ship up and salute my old glory hole. What? You know what I mean? I want to fuck the flag is what I'm trying to say. Old glory hole. Oh, whew. All right, we're getting through this. Next, the other coach. So anyway, welcome Jim Harbaugh. Thank God he's in the Chargers. He'll be fun. He'll make that division fun. He'll make LA fun. Doc Rivers was hilarious coach. I know basketball. I know it's a football conference championship game episode, but I'm the man in the box. I like to generalize. I go year round. I talk all sports. But that Doc Rivers hiring us, it was hilarious. The Milwaukee Bucks, second best record in the league, at like 33-10 or whatever the hell they are, 15. I don't know. Fired Adrian Griffin, their coach, and hired Doc Rivers. What made it funny is, listen, you want to fire Adrian Griffin, whatever. He's a rookie coach. You shouldn't put rookie coaches on good teams, first of all. It just never works. Rarely works. And it worked with Nick Nurse, but he had Kawhi Leonard. He was gifted Kawhi Leonard. The Raptors were not a good team until they got Kawhi Leonard. Adrian Griffin, but Nick Nurse is a good coach. But Adrian Griffin, Steve Nash, whatever. You can go down the line. It doesn't work. You have to have a respected coach that's done something. Because then you're just letting the players run. We're like, all right, you just running players. Anyway, so the players wanted Adrian Griffin fired. Whatever. But what's funny was Doc Rivers. The amazing thing is how Doc Rivers keeps getting these jobs. And as a Sixer fan, I love this hiring. I can't wait for the Sixers to be down 3-1 to Milwaukee in the quarterfinals. And finally, Doc Rivers will get the Sixers past the second round of the playoffs by being up 3-1 on him and doing what he always does, choking playoffs. But he was a paid advisor for the Bucks. How fucking shady is that? That's what's hilarious to me. He was a team advisor. That was a role. As he was an announcer on ESPN. I'll get to that in a second. He was a paid advisor. Yeah, I got some advice for you, Milwaukee. How about this? All right, here's what I've been thinking. I know we're in second place right now. Pretty good. You imagine that we'd be comfortable with that. We did not cover against the Pistons a couple times in a row. That's alarming. So here's my advice. Fire that coach you just hired for a 4-year contract, 40 days into his contract, and then hire me. How's that work? I could still be the advisor, too, if you want.
Hey, this is Lenny Dykstra here, Nails, former world champion with the New York Mets and World Series of.
I didn't know Lenny was on the soundboard already. Does that sound good, though? Fire him, hire me. That's my advice. You paid me to advise, right? Let's do it. And now Doc Rivers is finally on a team that they can't really fire him because he's the third coach they're still Milwaukee Bucks are paying. They're still paying Budenholzer, or whatever the hell his name was, the NBA champion coach. They're still paying him. And now they got to pay Griffin his 4 years. And now they got fucking Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers is just a guy everyone likes. The players like. He doesn't coach well, though. That's what's amazing about him. He's just got fun stories. He's got great stories. Everyone loves his fun. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, my God. I can't even do the Doc Rivers impression because my voice is already, my throat. Which is good because you know what? Jamie Foxx is the best Doc Rivers impression. So I wouldn't even want to do a Doc Rivers impression because I'd be knocking off Jamie Foxx's Doc Rivers impression. It's hilarious if you ever want to Google that. Can't blame Blake. Can't blame Blake. Can't blame the freak. Can't blame the Greek freak. Anyway, so let's get to that. And anyway, we did get to that. Let's get to that. Let's get to that.
You like that? You like that?
Let's get to that. Let's get to that.
You like that? You like that?
Do you have that? This would be a joke. Not even a joke I did. This bar I used to hang out with. It was like a local dive bar. And then of course, every dive bar gets ruined on the weekends when young people come in it. There's like these drunk girls and they're like, this is good. Do you have that? What is that? Do you have that? What is that? It's a drink they are currently drinking. Do you have that? Yes, you have that in your hand. Do you have, what is that? Do you have that? I've had it. I've had about enough of that. Do you have that? Whew, that's already annoying to me. All right, I better get these ad reads. Let's talk about, let's see. What do I want to tell you first about? Do I want to tell you about Prize Picks? Sure, I'll tell you about Prize Picks. You guys love hearing about Prize Picks, especially when it comes from me. So I'm so good at telling you guys about Prize Picks. You know what I mean? It's it's like fantasy football, but it's fantasy sports made easy. You give out a higher or lower prize pick. You take out a couple players from each game. So even if you don't want to hammer it down, you can cross sport. You can pick, like a Lamar Jackson higher than 66.5 rushing yards. With Giannis higher than 34.5 points because he better score points. Now you fired your coach after going 33 and fucking 10 or whatever the hell it is. They were dancing last night, those Bucks, before the game. I mean, good God. They were just dancing on Adrian Griffin's grave. Show some respect. And then they won by 15 and covered, so good for them. Anyway, go to Prize Picks. It's great. They offer a reboot policy so that your entries stay into play, even if one of your players gets injured for like football. Like let's say you had Deebo Samuel last week, and you had all his hires, and then he gets hurt in the first half. It gets replaced by like a Jawan Jennings or somebody like that who stepped up. Probably didn't need Deebo's numbers. I'm not really sure how it works. But the point is, it is, I play it. I do great with it. We do great things together, me and Prize Picks. We watch the games together. He makes those nachos. I like prizepicks.com. Not that 6 chipper like they do at Blue Fountain. Whatever that controversy was. Anyway, go to prizepicks.com/SGPN. Use code SGPN for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/SGPN, code SGPN. Prize Picks Daily Fantasy Sports made easy. All right. And we are back. That was good. Yeah, apparently there's a nacho gate going on in Las Vegas. Fountain Blues, the new casino. It took like 15 years in the making, and they've already had all kinds of controversy. The sports book apparently is, but you never know with these new casinos because all the bad words you hear about it comes from other casinos. So they leak out information because they want you, they don't want people to talk. They want people to go there. But one guy posted a picture how he had to wait an hour for his nachos and like 6 chips came out. And then every other casino posted their nachos, like a plate of their nachos, like what they look like. Come to our place. We have nachos. Yeah, but you don't have supermodels. Not that should matter. Hot take, nachos are very overrated. The first couple are good, and then they're just a mess. And then he's got a bunch of dry chips. Nachos, you need to evenly distribute the cheese and everything. Usually just the top layer gets melted, then you just got a pile of chips underneath. Nachos are for children, ML says. I kind of agree. It's too many hands grabbing in there too. What other dish do we do that serve it for the, share for the table, but everyone's just grabbing in the middle like Hungry Hippo style? Get that shit out of here. Then you get the chicken or steak. Now someone wants to add the meat onto it. Well, then it's a race to get those 4 pieces of meat. Good luck doing that. ML wants a shout out. One-time player. Put shout out what you want. What you got a shout out for you, ML? Welcome to the chat. Everyone gets a shout out in my chat. It's completely democratic. It's how you grow. You shout at me, I'll get you on the board. I should ask questions. Give me your hot takes on nachos. I don't want to talk nachos. I should have a cough button, especially when I'm ill. Let's get into these AFC Championship games. First one will be AFC Championship game, Kansas City at Baltimore. Line's 3.5, totals 44.5. Money line plus 172 on KC if you like that. Alternative line, KC minus 3.5 plus 280. Not too bad. This is a tough game. Very tough game. A lot of ways to look at it. I think it's going to be close. Baltimore can beat the living breaks out of them like they have all year. They've been beating good teams at home pretty badly. But I'm not too I wasn't too convinced of last week's win versus Houston. The first half, they looked not great. Sure, it was a punt return they gave up, but Lamar Jackson getting blitz couldn't handle it, and he was awful. Lamar Jackson in the playoffs is the thing. People like to dismiss it because he had a great second half and he ran the ball well and he's great. He's Lamar Jackson. People forget real quick. Everyone's like, where are you Lamar haters now? Baltimore was a Lamar Jackson hater. The Baltimore fans were done with him. He was open for trade. Remember that bizarre thing in the offseason when other teams just announced on Twitter, they all collectively on Twitter say they had no interest in going and trading for Lamar Jackson. It was like Carolina, Atlanta, Washington. We don't want him. We don't want Lamar. Just want everyone to know that we don't want Lamar Jackson. Oh, no, you don't? You don't want a 2-time MVP at age 19, whatever the hell he is? He's still so young. I think he's younger than Joe Burrow. I forget, but it doesn't matter. Point is, he's awesome. Imagine if Atlanta had Lamar Jackson, and what a perfect fit he'd be in that city too, if you know what I mean. Point is, he is great, but he has had playoff struggles. But he's been young too, so that's also. I mean, what he did last week, and then the second half they adjusted to the blitz. He did make some great throws, but then he ran, and he ran well. So I do think he will do that again. His over rushing prop is 66.5, I believe. That's a lot. Because last year, I still think he gets 80. So we're going to go bomb that. Lamar Jackson over 66.5 rushing yards. But I'll tell you what we're also going to do, which I like this one too, Lamar Jackson to throw an interception. I love quarterbacks throwing interceptions. I'm going to throw that out later after the game props that break down. I have also props for all the games that they do the special props. But anyway, Lamar Jackson to throw an interception is plus 140. That's pretty heavy plus money. Now, he is 2-3 in his playoff career. He has 5 interceptions in 5 games. Also thrown 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 5 games. His quarterback rating for the first 4 playoff games up until last week was 78, 63, 74, and 61. So, in some of those games, he was big favorites, like that one with Tennessee, obviously. So it's not nothing. You can't just dismiss nothing because he had a good second half versus Houston. Lamar in the playoffs is a thing. So just to throw 1 interception plus 140, I'm not fading Lamar like complete fade. Oh, he's going to be a bust, but an interception is definitely worth a stab at plus 140. We'll bomb that. I like the under in this game. I like 44.5. 44.5 under. I think the weather won't be Buffalo bad. It'll be Baltimore bad, a little fog, little steamy, little city steamy, little private eye, little The Wire going on out there. It'll be a raucous crowd. They haven't hosted an AFC Championship game since its inception. But both teams will run, and they'll run the ball well. Baltimore actually gives up a lot of ground yards. So does Kansas City can run on too, but that's what they do. So Pacheco, who's just so weird. He runs like a cartoon character. Like I said last week, where that little spaz animal in Jurassic Park with the things come out, and all 4 legs go side. They all go different side angles. His total is 66.5 yards. That's the third prop we're going to do. Wow. So we have the under 44.5, Pacheco and Lamar over 66.5 yards rushing. That would have given out so far. And a Lamar interception. That's 4 bets so far. That's a lot. Here's a 5th one I want to add to you. Lamar Jackson and Pacheco to both score a touchdown. Parlay that's 3-1. That, I don't see how that doesn't happen, to be honest with you. I really don't. Famous last words. So touchdown parlay, Pacheco and Lamar Jackson 3-1. Bomb. And I also have a ladder for you guys. And then I'll give you the game pick right at the end. The ladder play, which I will also be giving out the prop show later. This is part of the C block. I do the Picks Dundee college show after this. And then later tonight, we'll do the prop show with Sean and Kramer. Juke 72 wants to know if I'm making it out to Vegas for the Super Bowl. Yes, I am. I am going to Vegas for the Super Bowl. I'll be there all week. I believe I come in Wednesday. SGPN will be out there, so I'll be doing a bunch of shows on SGPN. But I'm also, now that you bring it up, Juke 72, if you're in Vegas, anyone else, I will be at Wise Guys, the new Wise Guys with TJ Miller, doing stand-up comedy Friday and Saturday night, possibly Thursday. So get your tickets to that to see me do stand-up. Come meet and greet. And I'll also be doing other shows with VSiN and the SGP network in there at Wynn Casino. So it's gonna be a fun week in Las Vegas for the Super Bowl. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. Ladder chatter. Laddie daddy. This is what I do. Should I whip out the ladder? Oh, man. Anyway. Tell you what. I'll save the ladder chatter. Well, this is a case for the Bet Detective. I still got to get a Bet Detective theme song. I want to get something like the Fred Garvin male prostitute character that Dan Aykroyd did back in the 70s in Saturday Night Live. Fred Garvin, male prostitute. Go, so I want to do that. C.J. Sullivan, Bet Detective. Although it's hard to get a better name than Fred Garvin. That's a good one. So the Bet Detective is on something here with this Marquez Valdez Scantling. We all know his deal. He's a burner. He goes deep. He can get past anybody. He can't catch. He's like Featherstone or whatever the fuck his name is from Necessary Roughness. He just couldn't catch the ball. So I think they watched Necessary Roughness, and they did this until last week. He could not catch the ball. It was sticking to his hands. Suspiciously sticking to his hands. Like he wasn't going out and making a catch. He would just wait till it just hit his hands, and then he just like cling it to his body. I think something with a foot. Like adhesives. There's always been rumors about the new receiver gloves, how sticky they are. And that's why you see a lot of one-handed catches now that you never saw before, where they would catch it just at the tip. Odell Beckham, of course, was the most famous one. And then after the Beckham catch, other receivers were doing, you see catches like that as well. We're just putting their hand out and it's just sticking to their fingertips. And you watch when they catch those balls, they don't give them back to the refs. They get rid of them immediately. And so did Scantling. Scantling had a couple catches last week. We're like, whoa, when did he learn to catch? He didn't learn to catch. They slabbered him up with glue. He's got about 4 horses. They're going to head over to Pimlico in Baltimore, catch a couple of those losers that broke some legs, put them in the glue factory, and slobber them all over Marquez's gloves. And he's going to be catching some balls. So we can get in on his low number. His number is 15.5 receiving yards. Hello. I know Rashee Rice is the best receiver there, one he trusts. But watch. He made a couple catches last week. That's all Mahomes needs from you. Couple catches to trust, and he'll hit you. So we're going over 15.5 receiving yards. No problem. And then if you want to climb the ladder, I skip a few rungs. 45.5, he's at plus 250. 55.5, 370. Jesus. It goes all the way up. See generates. Listen to this Marquez Scantling ladder. 75 yards is over 8-1, 8-11. These on Bet Online numbers. 85.5, 1236, and 95.5 yards is plus 1932. Come on. He could easily get 100 yards. He gets the deep threat. And now that he's got nothing but horse glue up and down the arms painted on him, you can't miss it. They might have to drag him off to the sideline because the ball will be stuck to him enough to get the jaws of life to rip it off his hands, his Newman gloves. But I love what I saw there. I love how he caught that ball, it stuck to his gloves, and he went right to the sideline with the ball. Yeah, put this in the chase and bring this back to Kansas City. Getting some ideas for the Bet Detective theme song. Grover says he likes Law and Order or the first part of LA Law. LA Law I like too. Law and Order. I'm a weird guy where I've never really watched Law and Order. And I know at this point you have to actively avoid Law and Order to now. I mean, I've seen it just because it's impossible. I know what it is. It's good. I'm not even saying it's good. And that music is pretty good. The boom, boom. But it's almost overdone. LA Law, which they're rebooting, I think. Did I hear that right? They're rebooting LA Law? But growing up as a kid, I watched LA Law because my mom watched LA Law because she had the hots for Jimmy Smits. Jimmy Smits made my mom flood. All right. I don't have to get too crude about my mom. Stop talking about my mom like that, CJ. But she did. She would, anyone that would get my mom hot, I would have to watch. Robert Redford, Tom Cruise. I saw all the fucking Redford, like 80s movies, like Legal Eagles and shit like that, you know? The bad ones we had to go see. Tom Cruise, I mean, we saw it all. Day of. Far and Away. I don't think a boy should be watching Far and Away. Days of Thunder, all right, I can get behind that. She loves Keanu and Speed, like which woman didn't? Keanu was the man in Speed. So then she that's when she discovered him. But I knew Keanu from like Bill and Ted's and shit. So I'm like, oh, you like Keanu, huh? Here, check this out. Because she'd be like, oh, what else is he in? And then I show Bill and Ted's like, oh, I don't like this. This guy's a dope. He's a kid. Oh no, I want a man. Cocktail, of course. Says Grover. Cocktail, one of the greatest occupational movies of all time. Back in the 80s, occupational theme movies were a big thing. Roadhouse, the Bouncer movie, fucking air traffic control, or just any dumb job would have a movie about it. And Cocktail was the bartender, the flair bartender, which is there's nothing more annoying. I once did that as a set, just the entire poem that Cruise does there. The Alabama Slammer, the Dingling, the Singapore Sling, the Kamikaze. He's like up on the fucking bar doing this poem. You like poems? Yeah. He's doing a poem about all these drinks. Meanwhile, the bar's crowded. And if that was in real life, they're like, hey, asshole, can you get down and make these fucking drinks? How about that? We're not here to see you do an Andrew Dice Clay routine with your mixology book. Why is there only 2 of you back there? There's 1,000 people in this club. Stop flipping those flaming bottles to the shimmy, shimmy, shake and pour me a goddamn beer. Anyway. Ronnie Pasco with a good idea. People's Court or the People's Court and Night Court themes are classic. That's the thing with Night Court, and they're rebooting that too. Why are they rebooting all this shit? It was good to find out John Larroquette's alive, though. Always good. Always been a Larroquette fan. Anyway, Grover says men at work made him want to be a trash man in LA. Who knows the things you could stumble into? Yeah, just occupational movies. They're fun. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the Kansas City Baltimore game. I didn't even get my pick out yet. I gave out the under 44.5. I like that. I gave out Pacheco and Lamar over rushing 66.5 yards. Pacheco, Lamar touchdown 3-1 parlay. They both scored a touchdown. And the Marquez Van Scantling ladder. I like that a lot. 15.5 is where you start your base. Get that nice and high, and then break down your units however you want to do that ladder. Top it off at 1932. Get on the perch. Bird on a wire style. Mel Gibson, Goldie Hawn, speaking of 80s movies that I had to go see because my mom liked Mel Gibson. I wonder if she ever liked him when she found out he's a racist. I don't know if she died before that or not. No one heard probably would have made her like it more. Anyway, it doesn't matter. When it's Mel Gibson, you can say anything you want. Anyway, she would not. I'm not trying to be smudge my dead mom's name. The game itself. So the game could be tight. I think it should be tight. But all the metrics say Baltimore, but I'm not buying into. Listen, what was a better win last week? Kansas City at Buffalo or Baltimore at home versus Houston? Yes, Baltimore won pulling away. Oh, for sure. Kansas City also could have won by double digits. They let a lot of points on the board. And you're also catching them at their peak because that was the best game they played all year. They haven't played like that at all, but I don't know. There's something with Mahomes and Reed. And now I'm not even I'm rooting for Baltimore. I want Baltimore to win. I want Lamar to win. Even Harbaugh, he's the more likable Harbaugh at least. But In Kansas City, they're like a TV commercial. I think Drew Magary wrote an article. They're an insurance commercial posing as a football team. But it's hard to go against Reed and Mahomes as an underdog. They have a great record as underdogs. So I'll take Kansas City plus 3.5, and I'll sprinkle. And why are we going to go money line? Plus 172, even an alt line, minus 3.5, plus 280. Listen, it can't be denied. The Taylor Swift angle cannot be denied. The NFL wants Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. Taylor Swift doesn't, and I'm not even saying the NFL rigs it for Taylor Swift. I'm saying Taylor Swift is bigger than the NFL. She's going to rig it towards the NFL to get her there. Her last trip isn't going to be to Baltimore. She's going to the goddamn Super Bowl. And she's taking Donna Kelsey with her. If you're looking at my thumbnail, that's my face as Donna Kelsey with the mustache. That might be my next video this week because I got to strike while the iron's hot because they might lose, of course, to Baltimore. But I'm going to say Kansas City plus 3.5. That's my bomb. Sprinkle the money line and a little alt line. Why not? I think it should be a tight game. So just take the 3.5. Could even go overtime. Oh boy. All right. Well, let me go back to that. That game took a little longer than I thought to analyze because my NFC game is next. So I do a quick ad read and I'll come back and now we'll get into the NFC Championship game. All right. First, let me tell you about Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform, US based and available in 40 states. It's player-to-player social betting in a new and better way to bet directly against you and your friends, against your friends or other users and everything. Sports, pop culture, events, blah, 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 Oscars. You ever want to bet like on an Oscar? Like, hey, but you're not going to get a good line on an Oscar or whatever, but you can bet on your friend with it. Or you like Kansas City, like Baltimore, you can bet on your friend. So this is fun. Cut offers low vig, customizable odds, so you can create your own bets. That's a fun thing. You can throw your own line out there, and someone else will take it against you. Cut handles the payment side of things, more importantly, so you don't have to chase your friends down for money. Nothing worse than that. Friend owes you money. He's out on Instagram posting pics at the, Lone Star Steakhouse. Whoa! Looks like someone's dining it up out there. Forgot about the $35 you owed me, but you have time for the apps at Lone Star? All right. Okay. I see how you live your life. Cut is the peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US based and is legal in 40 states. Head to cut.com. Cut. That's KUTT.com and use promo code SGPN for deposit bonus. Also, we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Let me throw that up there. Hall of Fame Bets. You can win bigger and better by smarter with Hall of Fame Bets. Enter any parlay ID in Hall of Fame Bets revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by the leg, as well as expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot, which picks have value. Stop betting in the dark. Join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. Also brought to you by the merch store. Do I have a merch store thing? I don't think I do. I'll go off the top on this one. Because everything off the merch store, everything you buy at the merch store till the end of the month is 15% off with the promo code playoffs. And we are competing each other. We're doing a competition, Sean and Kramer, for all the shows here on SGPN. Who can get the most merch sales? So if you get a bottom line bomb shirt, a man in a box, a bet detective, that's also what I have out there. You use promo code playoffs, get 50% off. Maybe I'll win. And if I don't, you know what? That's fine too. I don't like company sales contests, to be honest with you. I think it's belittling. It's transparent, obvious. You'll set of steak knives. What are you, fucking Alec Baldwin now? Third place is you're fired. If you don't get me, You don't get me, a man in a box shirt, third place, you're fired. Ronnie Pasco once says he'd share some nachos with Donna Kelsey in Vegas. I'll tell you what. I bet that's an 80-20 ratio. You better work fast, Ron, if you want to share some nachos with Donna Kelsey. She will mow them down. Good for her. You don't spit out a couple boys like that without having some nacho hips. Grover the dog says, "Where's my $2?" A little Better Off Dead reference. Did that make you want to be a newspaper delivery boy? But that's famous chasing down for money. Where's my $2? All right, let's see. Now let me break down the NFC Championship game, which will be the second game. That is Detroit and San Francisco. The line is 7 and 51.5. That is a high total. Well, I do think both teams will score. San Francisco should be able to score. Now, Brock Purdy had a bad game last week, and it was raining. Apparently, he has tiny hands, and it can't handle the rain. He doesn't know what to do. Gloves, one glove. I think that's a little overrated. I mean, maybe he had a bad game. It happens. But people love shitting on Brock Purdy. They were all over Brock Purdy this week. Brock Purdy's in a tough situation. When he wins, he gets no credit. If he loses, he gets all the blame. That's pretty rare for quarterbacks. Like Josh Allen loses, but like, hey, he's Josh Allen. He's amazing. Purdy wins. He fucking terrible. That was awful. Ryan Clark this week on ESPN. He had a segment. On Monday. He goes, the hardest thing he had to do this year in life was to act like Brock Purdy was an MVP candidate and as good as Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and blah, blah, blah. That was the hardest thing he had to do in life this year. Okay, Ryan Clark. Take it easy with the drama. What I love about that comment, and I don't mind Ryan Clark, whatever. I don't mind any of those people on ESPN because it's not their fault. It's ESPN. It's the machine. Tom Brady famously once said, and he's right, ESPN did to sports what MTV did to music. It destroyed it. When you have nonstop 24-hour programming of debate and commentary and takes, and that's what they've done with it. It's now complete entertainment. There's no journalism whatsoever. You have to stand out. You have to make takes, and you become the news. Like Stephen A. Smith, he's the biggest figure there for a reason. He makes loud takes. Does he believe in them? No, he does not. He admits to it before you see it's on the track line. Ryan Clark admitted that statement right there. The hardest thing he had to do was to say Purdy belonged there with those other guys, meaning he said it. There's tape of him saying it all year. He's like, he's elite. Purdy's one of the elite quarterbacks. He's doing it. He's an MVP candidate. And now he tells you he was lying. That's what's amazing to me. They openly admit that they lie because they have to fill content and to get fucking takes and to get people, to get a reaction. And that's all it is getting reactions. And like I said, I don't even blame Ryan Clark or any of these people. It's the machine that is ESPN. But that's what I love when they go to Purdy. What do you think about Ryan Clark? And that's exactly what they want you to think. Remember when Stephen A. Smith had Max Kellerman fired? It wasn't because Max Kellerman wasn't good or smart. It's because he didn't get it. He didn't get the game that you need to make takes, and it doesn't matter if your opinion has facts based on it. Your opinion just has to be loud and convincing. The happiest Stephen A. Smith was with Max Kellerman is when Max Kellerman said Tom Brady is falling off the cliff. Like 5 years in a row, he would say it, and then Tom Brady just kept winning Super Bowls. And then the Patriots would use that as motivation and put out funny videos, and Stephen A. Smith loved it. Because why? Because it got attention towards the show, which meant more ratings. And they love talking about ratings. Oh, my God, over there. Now I'm going on an ESPN rant, but Jesus Christ. I love this ridiculous battle between First Take and what's the fucking Skip Bayless show? Speak Your Mind, whatever the hell it is. It's the same bullshit, but it's on Fox Sports, so everyone watches ESPN. We're number one through you. Our numbers. Number one on what? Weekday mornings between 9 and 11? Cool. Who else are you beating? Judge Mathis? Like, I don't understand what the competition is. Anyway, no hate on that. Whatever. I really don't care. It's performance art. What I've always found odd is how Stephen A gets a pass as a performance artist, but Skip Bayless does not. We just generally universally hate Skip Bayless, even though it's the same exact thing. He taught Stephen A. It's like it's his mentor, but whatever. Anyway, let's talk about Ryan, the Brock Purdy stuff. So now everyone hates Brock Purdy. What are his props? This I would like to give out, because now Detroit's defense not good. Both playoff games they've given up more than 400 yards. Granted, I think the Rams were a loaded weapon coming in there, and I still don't know how to beat the Rams that game. Tampa Bay, they did what they can. Dan Campbell's changing the culture, the whole blah, blah, blah. And by the way, Dan Campbell, you're going to see how you got to get it done now, because you're going to find out what culture you change once your coordinators leave next year. Ask Philadelphia about that. Anyway, let's see what Brock Purdy's other. That being said, I think Brock Purdy's a fine quarterback. People can't get past him being Mr. Irrelevant. Now, I know this is a bad comparison, but Tom Brady's a 6th rounder. I'm not saying Brock Purdy's Tom Brady. What I'm saying is when it comes to quarterbacks, these teams don't fucking know. They don't know anything. Lamar Jackson, the Ravens passed on Lamar Jackson in that draft. He was their 2nd pick. Now, granted, they traded up to get him, but it was still at the last pick in the 1st round. Brock Purdy was the last pick in the draft. Trey Lance was the 3rd. Same team overall. 3rd overall. Trey Lance isn't going to sniff a field, it looks like. And Brock Purdy can win a Super Bowl. But he's just a game manager. Whatever. He throws the fucking ball. Like, I'm not the biggest Brock Purdy fan, but like, he deserves some goddamn credit for crying out loud. Here's a fun fact I'd like to tell you. He has less yak yards after catch from his receivers than the last 3 MVPs. Aaron Rodgers twice and Mahomes. But no one talks about how they have amazing talent around them or whatever you want to say. All right, let me see what this prop is for Purdy. Real quick, like something I probably should have queued up before the show. Okay. Because this Detroit defense, especially the secondary, Purdy's at 276. That's high. I think he's throwing well over 300 yards. So we're going to bomb Purdy 300 over 276. Touchdowns is 1.5. I don't know if I like that. I mean, he can throw 2 or 3. Pardon me. Here's the thing about the one more, and I'll stop talking about this ESPN lying thing. It's just hilarious to me that he would say that was the hardest thing to do, was act like Purdy was good. Now I'll justify because it's back. Just admitting you're lying. Emmanuel Acko did that the other day for Fox Sports. He posted a fake video on TikTok clip about Caleb Williams saying he was going to sit out if the Bears don't trade a number 1 pick because he didn't want to go play with the Bears. It was completely fake. Fake news story. The definition of a fake news story. And Akbo does a TikTok with it. Akbo. What's his name? And he gets called out for it. Like, yeah, he knows it's fake. Emmanuel Acko. And he doubles down and goes, it doesn't matter. It was on TikTok. It's not a serious thing. I talked about my pimple. He acts like, And then he tweeted, in the event it was fake, I posted to the least serious website because no lives are being lost based on that post. No lives are being lost based on that post. That's great. That's great journalism. Then he goes, either way, real or fake, the video would garner traction, which would increase followers. More followers equals larger brand deals. Understand? Yeah. He later deleted that tweet. Yeah, no, we understand. You guys are all frauds. You don't care about your audience or any kind of integrity at all. We get it. It's all about clout. And I get it, sports, it's not serious, but I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. Anyway, back to my jokes and bits for picks. I'm also not giving you serious journalism, but it's amazing how it's just amazing when they tell you who they are and people don't care. That's what's always amazing to me. Like that's the way, like, I guess it's a style now. Blame Trump. I don't know. Trump just admits everything. Like, all right, and then let's move on. There'll be something else. Anyway, so Purdy's going to have a big game. 51.5. We'll probably, I think that, I mean, the Niners had their scare last week. That's as vulnerable as they're going to get. I blame LaFleur and the Packers for not beating them. He got too conservative, doing quarterback sneaks from fourth and 1. What are you doing? I mean, whatever. That was the game to beat the Niners. Now, Detroit, on the other hand, they're coming in with house money. They will be loose. That's why I do like the over 51.5. We'll bomb that. And I think they will be able to run the ball against San Francisco. I like Gibbs and Montgomery. Now, Brandon Ayuk and Juwan Jennings, I also like that. So what are their props? Ayuk, I believe, is... Let me see if I have that written down somewhere. How do I not have that written down? I think it's like 74.5. Let me... Or I can just check right now. Brandon Ayuk, receiving yards... See, especially if, I mean, obviously the big news is will Deebo Samuel play? San Fran's weird. If they don't have one of their stars, they completely fall apart. McCaffrey, Deebo, even Ayuk. Oh, it's 83.5. I still like it. Number one receivers absolutely eat against these teams. Now, if Deebo plays, it changes things a bit. I don't know if he will. His injury looks serious. He's also named Debo after the character from Friday, so I would not put it past him. Nor would I say that anything to his face. The man's named Debo. But we'll go with Brandon Ayuk over 83.5 receiving yards. That should bomb. And then I like Jahmyr Gibbs over 23.5 receiving as well. That one I really like. I think the running back's going to have a good game for Detroit. Amron will do his thing. So we'll go over 51.5. And if I was to take a side, everyone likes San Fran. The thing I don't like about San Fran is everyone likes them to just explode and bomb Detroit, which they could. This could be a blowout. But I think Detroit came too far. Jared Goff, tell you what I do like. Speaking of interceptions, we stab money at Lamar. Jared Goff minus 152 to throw an interception. You got to lay a little juice, but that's happening. That's a play that will happen. Jared Goff will throw an interception outdoors under pressure. The weather's supposed to be nice. He usually does bad in bad weather, but this will happen. Minus 152. Bomb the hell out of Goff. Even Brock Purdy. Purdy should have 2 drop pick sixes last week. Anyway. So I'm gonna take over 51.5. My heart wants Detroit to stay within 7, but my mind is saying if you were gonna get San Fran, it was last week. And now they're gonna be upset and they're gonna be thinking they're just gonna do whatever they want. I'm gonna see Detroit's defense and they're gonna be overmatched. So I see this as like a 38-20 kind of game. So over and San Fran minus a 7. Unfortunately, because I don't even want to see a San Fran KC Super Bowl, to be honest with you, that rematch, but I think that's inevitable. Grover says, get that BLB shirt and get on a plane and say a few keywords. I like that comment. Ronnie Pastor says, did the line come down in the Niners game? That line's been moving. Both lines, actually. The KC line, I saw it go up to 4, then back down to 3.5. I'm currently looking at Bet Online right now, and it's saying 7. It's juiced minus 120 for the 49ers. So that means the next move is going to be 7.5. Now, if it goes to 7.5, lines seem definitely more interesting. That's for sure. I don't think I stay within the number, but like I said, I mean, I might even look up at some alt lines for this one. Let me look at an alt line, actually. I'm saying like I might, like it's not right in front of me. Minus 14.5 is plus 230. Detroit on the road can look bad. Destroyed in Baltimore. Destroyed in Chicago. They play well, and they play well at home in the dome. Anyway, I'll be rooting for the Lions, but I'm picking the Niners. Little emotional hedge. All right, let's see. Where are we at here now? Then I wanted to do some prop bets. All right, let me load it. Before I get to the man in the box, let me get to some general props for the divisional round specials. JC from KC, what's up, C-Generates? Oh, he's coming in a bit late. JC, I'll recap for you, but KC plus 3.5 is a play. I like your Chiefs. Anyway, last week I gave out a tight end score in every game at plus 650. That hit easily. They all scored in the first half. A tight end in each game, not in each team, in each game. There was 4 games. That money won so easily. And I gave out so many clients, so many C-Generates hit it that they took it off the board. They won't even give it out. These cowards. So let's see if we can find some other fun ones to do. Each team to score a touchdown and a field goal. I hit that last week. That was 7-1, 4 games. It's not as easy as you think. This week it's plus 125 because there's only 2 games. I think that'll hit. First of all, it's hitting in the Baltimore game. They have the 2 best kickers. They're going to get the field goals. San Fran game, that kicker situation's a bit murky. So at plus 125, I don't recommend that. This one I do. Each team scores a rushing touchdown. Plus 350. Baltimore and KC, lock that up. They're scoring a rushing touchdown. Either Lamar, I already gave out Lamar and Pacheco as an anytime touchdown parlay. And they're both running the ball great. San Fran, McCaffrey is getting a touchdown. That's what he does. So it really just comes down, will Detroit get a rushing touchdown? And I believe they will. With Dave Montgomery or Gibbs, of course. But when they get down there, Campbell's a knee biter. He's going to, he doesn't want golf to fuck up down there like he almost did that first drive last week. And they will rush a touchdown in. So plus 350, each team getting a rushing touchdown. I like that. Here's a fun one. Will a non-quarterback throw a touchdown? 20-1. Probably not an advisable bet, but a 20-1 worth a sprinkle. McCaffrey can throw the ball. And Kansas City, when they get in the goal line, Andy Reid does his ring around the rosy bullshit. You never know what he's going to dial up. So I can see that happening. 20-1, I'll go ahead and say that. I have Ayuk for most receiving yards, plus 350. That's chalky. Here's one I like. Jawan Jennings, most fantasy football points for the weekend as receiver. 15-1. Now, he won't get as much yards as Ayuk, but he can get a touchdown or 2. And he will have a high volume game if Deebo Samuel doesn't play. So 15-1, I like that. Let me bomb that. And a couple Detroit Lion running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs, most rushing yards, plus 850. Now, when I'm saying most rushing yards, is out of the 4 teams for the weekend. Here's another one. Gibbs and Montgomery combined, rushing and receiving yards versus McCaffrey. That's a minus 110 bet either way. I like Gibbs and Montgomery. Now, McCaffrey's great. He's amazing. We all know that. But Detroit actually does have a good rush defense. They shut down the run. They can't do anything against the pass, but they do shut down the run. I see McCaffrey hitting like about 60 rushing yards, 60 receiving yards. I mean, he's going to get his. He's McCaffrey. But Gibbs and Montgomery combined, and you can run, especially wide on San Francisco. Like when Aaron Jones broke that run to the perimeter, I think Gibbs will be able to do the same thing. Oh man, this cough is getting bad. I gotta go. One last one. Now this depends if he plays or not, but Zach Ertz just signed with the Detroit Lions. How is this possible? How are you allowed to sign with a team the week before the NFC Championship game? Talk about ring chasing. Why don't you just wait to the second half of the Super Bowl? Sign with them. Zach Ertz, of course, already has a Super Bowl. Will he get a catch? Is plus 145. Now, Dan Campbell's a tight end. He likes old tight ends. He likes Zach Ertz. So if he plays, he gets out there. He'll be out there, and they'll throw him the ball. So why not sprinkle? It all depends if he plays. If he plays, he's getting a catch. So he doesn't get a touchdown. He doesn't get anything. Just has to get one catch. Zach Ertz, plus 145, reception, bomb it. All right, that's going to do it for all the props and whatnots. Now let's get into the box. First of all, I want to thank everyone for joining me live here on the YouTube chat. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, like it. Don't sit there and listen to all these hilarious bits and picks, especially all the picks I gave you. My God, we gave out the over in the San Fran Detroit game. We gave San Fran -7. We gave out KC plus 3.5 and a sprinkle on the money line and under 44.5. And just a ton of props that I won't go over. But I will reiterate them on the prop show tonight with Sean and Kramer. Don't forget the Picks Dundee College week bombs down under right after this part of the C block. Make sure you subscribe to the Bottom Line Bombs podcast with CJ Sullivan, its own feed. If you're listening on the NFL feed or the SGP main feed, I appreciate it. But make sure you subscribe to the personal one, the Bottom Line Bombs with CJ Sullivan, so you can keep up with me all year round. Other than that, follow me on Instagram, CJ Sullivan was taken. Twitter, CJ Sullivan _ Super Bowl week, I will be in Las Vegas all week long, doing shows at Wise Guys Comedy Club with TJ Miller, doing shows with SGP, the whole thing. If you're in LA Saturday night, especially on the West Side, I'll be doing the West Side Comedy Theater at 8:00 Saturday night. That should be a fun show in Santa Monica. Hit the promenade, maybe. Do some touristy shit for about $1,000. Anyway. Yeah, that's all the pluggings I need to do. Now let's get to the box. Like I said, degenerates. Ooh, we got a long show. That's what I do now. I've been under the weather a little bit. Had this cough, had this phlegm thing. It's been gross. Been with me for a while. Then I was just about gone, and I did what all doctors recommend. I went to Las Vegas for a weekend, and it came back with a force. What happens in Vegas grows in Vegas and gets worse in Vegas. It stays with you. When you leave Vegas, yeah, they won't talk about the whores, I guess, but as Norm Macdonald famously said, but everything, your will to live, that'll stay in Vegas too. That's what they mean. Anyway, and then I was coughing so much, I think I cracked a rib, where it really pained me. Still does a little bit, but not as bad as it was before. I couldn't lie down. Like I had to sleep sitting upright in a chair. Like, you know, you can't sleep in a plane. That was me in a chair having to sleep like a fucking horse or something, or a Clockwork Orange, just staring at it. I had a TV off because I didn't want to just watch TV on but take an Ambien, anything, but just sitting upright, strapped. Because it hurt to lie on either side or back or anything. So what I do yesterday, I finally did it. I bucked up, unlike me. And I'm not a great patient. I always thought I was a good patient. My ex-wife now, used to tell me I'm not a good patient. And I would say, no, I am. No, trust me, I am. She's like, no, you're not. And then now that this is the first time I was sick by myself, I realized, yeah, she was probably right. So I'm just moaning and screaming, just screaming and moaning and coughing. Oh God! And then I hear myself now. Now there's no one in my domicile. Now it's just me alone in a box. I just hear me. I'm like, yeah, all right, I can see where that's annoying. All right, she had a good point. Anyway, so I went to urgent care because I don't know where I don't have a doctor. This isn't the 50s. Or suburb. It's LA. I don't know where to go. If anything bad happens, I don't know what to do. It's not a real fucking world. It's a gross city. There's no friendly doctor down the street that you go to. That's not a thing. So I go to urgent care, which is a bus station for fucking doctors, for patients. I go in there, and the doctors at urgent care are like the public defenders of doctors. He comes in. He's like, okay, what's the problem? I tell him the problem. What do you got? So what is it? It's like I had to tell him. Sinus? No, it's not sinus. It's a bronchial thing. I've had this before. Okay. That makes sense. I'll check that. That's on my list. Hey, look at that. It's on my clipboard here. That's one thing I can check off. Bronchitis. It's not bronchitis, but it's something like that. First of all, he came in. He had these like antlers on, like these like you know those bobbly spring antlers, like let's say it's Christmas and you have like reindeer fucking antlers bobbing back and forth, or Valentine's Day, and there's a couple of hearts, going like this, bouncing forward and backward. He had these things on, but they were just vague, like purple balls. It wasn't holiday related. It was just a fucking like. What would you watch Patch Adams before this? You think that? First of all, that's not true. Comedy does not cure illness. It's not the best medicine. Medicine is the best medicine. And even if that was, that's not funny. I'm not a child. Get those fucking things off. Then he did give me a cortisone shot for the pain. It didn't really do much. He subscribes to ibuprofen for ibuprofen. What? I had a stronger ibuprofen. Who gives? I have. What do you don't think I have ibuprofen at home? I can get ibuprofen. Ah, but they're 600 milligrams, so I just take 3 200 milligram pills. I mean, what the? No, try better, doc. I didn't sit out there for fucking 2 hours. What the hell's throwing out there? What are you gonna do? What do you do about your weight? What do you do about your weight, doc? I've been waiting 2 hours. That's the thing. If you're overweight, that's all doctors is referred to. No matter what symptoms you have. I have an earache. Hey, you probably lose a few pounds. Yeah, I know I can, doc. What's that have to do with my ear? Well, if you lose weight, your ear holes will lighten up. Okay. Go fuck yourself. So I'm like, I'm just suggesting him things. All right, that sounds good. And albuterol, sure, I'll toss that in there. You like it, huh? I don't like it, but I've heard it works. Worked for me before. Everything's shady there. It says urgent cares. When I asked, then I asked the nurse who gave me the shot in the keister, how long does this take to kick in? It's like 20 minutes afterwards. She goes, oh, it should be right away. You don't feel it? No, I don't feel it. Or 30 minutes. You know what? Probably 30 minutes, but you're free to leave. Get out of here. They just want you. Just get out of here. What did I say? Now? No, I meant something completely different that you'd be satisfied with. That's what I meant to say. Urgent care. Good God. Then they had the balls ask me for a survey. You want a survey? Dr. fucking Purple Head Bobble Antler? Patch Adams. He's the kind of doc. Listen, I got a whole thing with doctors anyway, and their God complexes and whatnot. But the new breed of doctors that got into medicine, not just to have sex with women, but to be funny, because Patch Adams inspired them. They might be even worse than the other dickhead doctors. All doctors are just expensive guitar lessons. They just want to. They just want to impress women. and save lives. And this guy wants to do I got your nose routine. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's Man in the Box. Thank you everyone for joining. Of course, Ronnie Pasco. So he wants Bet Detective investigate the Vegas Nacho Gate. I might have to do that. It's casino by casino. Other than that, I do not have Royal Rumble Productions ML. But thank you everyone for joining the show. I already gave you all the plugs, so now I can just wrap it up. C Block is next. Come on over and listen to me and the Picks Dundee do bombs down under for the weekend for college basketball. I hit Air Force outright. They destroyed. Oh, was it San Diego State? I forget who it was. Anyway, doesn't matter. Yeah, like 30, 40. Anyways, we got that episode. And then tonight at 6:00 Pacific, live, I'll be doing the prop show. I'll give out my ladders with Sean and Kramer. It's going to be great. Other than that, enjoy the games. Enjoy the game. Why do I do that? Why does anyone do that on the ESPN, like Mike Greenberg and these guys on Football Friday? Enjoy the games, everyone. Thanks. Thanks for telling me to enjoy the games. I probably wouldn't have if you didn't tell me that. Thanks for giving me permission. You have anything to do with it. I'm such a happy guy. I love you, C-Generates. See you on Monday.